You're right.
that Twin Snakes is only GameCube.
Yeah, the HD collection, which is what I'm thinking of, had 2, 3, and Peace Walker,
Yeah.
as well as Metal Gear 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
The PlayStation versions came with a download for MGS1 because it was a PS1 classic.
Yeah. Okay, so the Xbox 360 one didn't.
Uh,
Because it didn't, it wasn't,
it
yeah.
did come with a code for something. I don't remember what it was. I'm not looking that far down in the thing while we're about to play.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
I just know because that was. Actually, I don't know if I can talk about why I know what I know with that.
Then don't.
So I will not. I will keep quiet. Because, yeah.
But yeah, I've always wanted to play Twin Snakes, and I never have. Because it's slightly, like I said, it's a divisive game because it's actually slightly different from
So
the
like they
original.
changed the story and such.
A little bit. There's like,
Is it mostly mechanically different, or?
oh, it's drastically different mechanically, which is also another reason that people are, you know, for or against it. But there's like some changes to some of the cutscenes and some of the stories and whatever. And yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. I think there's more cutscenes.
I wouldn't be surprised. So, who was the designer behind Xenosaga? Like, who's the
I can never remember that.
the same guy that did Xenogears and all the rest? And,
All the Xenos?
yeah, all the Xenos. Yeah,
I don't know.
because I would be kind of terrified if he and Hideo Kojima got together for something. Honestly, I thought I never had a Kojima game nor had played one extensively, and while the second is still arguably true, I recently was reminded that I have Zone of the Enders
Oh yeah. Well, that was a
because I bought a copy of the sequel
yeah.
recently to go with that to complete my collection of PS2 games that I feel are important to have in a collection but have never played,
Yeah.
because that's what most of my PS2 collection is. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, Zone of the Enders is definitely one of them.
Yes.
Oh, we did
That's
not
bad.
do it.
We both hit it. And I don't think I've seen anybody with anything kind of like that. Other than like the gigantic collections. Where like you get the game not because, or you get something. Well, people used to do that with books all the time. Like that's what you have with personal libraries a lot of the time too. Although there are just as many people I know that have read every single book in their library rather than just buying a book to have it there.
Yeah, that's true.
And the same is probably true of games. But like
Uh,
I missed pretty much the entirety of the PS2.
Yeah.
So when I did get one and games started getting cheap because secondary market, I was like, you know what? I'll get the names of games that are supposedly really big and go for that.
I have a huge gap in my understanding of games from not having a Super Nintendo.
Oh,
Just because, like, I never had a Super Nintendo. Oh, I did. Like, after I had a N64
right.
and PlayStation 1. So I don't have... Like, I've never played Chrono Trigger. I've never played Earthbound. I've never played Mario World 2.
Huh. Did you have a PC?
No.
Oh, okay. That could be why. Like, I filled a lot of the holes of my knowledge with that in using emulators. I mean, I had
Back, like, during the time, though?
no, not during the time. Like my first experience with an emulator was with an NES emulator, when I was in 5th grade, so 1998.
Okay.
And I didn't actually start like playing games like Super Nintendo games and such on an emulator until like we need to just stop accelerating there.
Yeah, it's that... Well, I mean, we've gotten through there before.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't start doing that until like my freshman year of high school. That's when I like got into the joys of Chrono Trigger and Star Ocean, and it's when I discovered Tales of Fantasia and just all of these like great Super Nintendo games that weren't really very they weren't all over the market at the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did have a Super Nintendo for most of its lifespan, and a lot of the better games on it too. Most of them first party.
Wow. Okay,
Like-
we did it. We're fine.
Okay,
We're
yeah.
good. We're okay.
I didn't break, but I did have my hand off the accelerator as soon
Me
as we
too.
hit grass. So it's just that does kind of explain that gap, though, if you don't have something else to help make up for it. And it's really hard when you get older to go back
Oh yeah.
and play those type of games, especially when you're used to modern game design.
Yeah.
Going
exactly.
back and looking at... But the thing is, the beauty of most of the Super Nintendo games, though, is that 2D game design, that's where it was perfected.
It's true.
So,
Well, I mean, I had a Genesis. So, I mean, anything that came out on both platforms I played.
yeah, not to disparage the Genesis, it has some beautiful games, but it has very few games with good game design. Like, or rather, it has far more games with bad design. Maybe I'll put it that way.
Oh, God. Oh, you did that one?
I did that one because, yes, I probably should have hit triangle, but I did that one. But that could just be my experience with the Genesis,
Yeah.
because spent
There are
most of the time on the
tons of great
SNES.
games on the Genesis. Tons of great design on the Genesis.
Name a few other than Sonic 2.
Well, Sonic 2 is just brings up the average anyway, so...
Right.
Uh,
Because Sonic 2 is the only a good one. Like, I'll even straight up say that's a solid one, whatever.
yeah.
But I'm
think Sonic-
not aware of others that were like spectacular.
Did you not read my article about how Sonic 2 is the best game ever made?
Did you actually write
I
that?
did, yeah.
Wow.
Best game ever made. Perfect.
I won't argue against that. I wouldn't argue for it.
I
I
d-
won't
I-
argue against that.
And in my article, I don't even list it as like my favorite. I just like this is the best game ever made.
Right.
Not particularly my favorite one. But everything about it is like as good as could be at that time period.
Right. On the Genesis.
There's no blast processing on the Super Nintendo, okay?
Super Nintendo doesn't.
That's right. There's no blast processing. You can't do a game like that.
But that's the thing, is I even in this day and age where there's the collector's mentality of all of that, I haven't really heard any. I don't want to say none. I've heard of some good games espoused on the Genesis, like Sunset Riders.
Yeah, Sunset Riders is great.
But there's far fewer on that system than there are. Like it feels almost comparable collection and history wise to the TurboGrafx 16, in that there's a few gems overall, but the system on its own wasn't really worth looking at too much beyond those games.
Do you ever play a Phantasy Star?
That is the RPG. That's kind of like saying, like if you had the same argument with the Wii, talking about the Xenoblade titles, which, yeah, it's
We got silver. Good.
cool. We don't have to do that track anymore. But that's kind of how I see that. It's like, no, and I want to play Phantasy Star. I actually got some of them on the Virtual Console to try. But like we were saying earlier, it's really hard to go back to those and commit time to.
Oh yeah, it is, and it's really kind of. The Genesis had great games. It had iconic games,
Right.
but there's a lot, and that's what I'm saying that I'm missing by not having the Super Nintendo when it was the thing to have, is that I missed out on those iconic games, which are more iconic to more people.
And I guess kind of the way I'm reading it too is not necessarily that it had bad games, but the games that were on it had less of an impact on the industry, and are generally less
I think they have
remembered.
less remembered. I don't know about industry wise because I feel
Well,
like
maybe
I feel like a
industry-wise,
lot of I feel like a lot of the Genesis stuff had huge impact on the industry and the way that games were designed because it wasn't in the Nintendo style.
Right.
But yeah, just the iconicness to players individually.
Right.
I think that there's a lot more of that on the Super Nintendo because a lot more people had that experience.
And some of the games do leave an impact, like Comic Zone left a gigantic impact on me.
Yeah.
Even though I could never get past the first page, and I don't think anybody's ever gotten past the second. I literally think that game is
It's impossible. Yeah.
It is, like, there's no way to get through that. But, like, the art style and the way that stuff interacted was cool and was pretty innovative for the time. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't see that. Dang it. I'm screwing this up really bad.
I don't feel like I was doing any better.
Hey, we still got silver, so...
Yeah! Dang it!
All right, on to the next track.